Right. Hi, everyone. I can take my first point in the agenda for the weekly. So some of you might have seen this already on Slack, but I wanted to capture here the news. Justin Boyson, our esteemed front-end senior engineer, has his last day tomorrow. He will be leaving the team. I've already shared my thoughts and my thankfulness for his contributions on Slack. Please take a look. And so yeah, the news that have hit us in the past week. Thomas, you're coming back to this. I think you've seen this on the day, but we can talk about it separately. But I wanted to take the opportunity to thank him again and to wish him well on the next efforts. Should he be seeing the recording? He's not here. And yeah, I wanted to give a bit of an insight about how we plan to do things in the future, in the short term. So for 14.2, there will be a reduced capacity. We won't be able to cover for him right away, but we are working to publish the backfill position. So we will be hiring someone to fill his position. It's not clear whether once we open it up, if we'll have internal candidates or not, so that we can consider them, but we will be working to make this refilling as quickly and as useful as possible. So we'll be looking for someone who's comfortable working in a complex code basis like our merge requests, experience with Vue, all that stuff. So that's why we're looking for a very senior and robust engineer, such as Justin was. And yeah, I do plan on potentially Tomasz has been kind enough to agree to, if you need to pick something else a little bit extra than usual from the GitLab work, is able to do that. We will still be mindful to keep a large capacity for VS Code stuff on him, but yeah, that's what we're planning to do for the short term. And yes, I wanted to see if you have any questions about that plan.
None for me. Thank you for the update, and yes, thanks to Justin for everything.
Okay.
I've already yelled at him in Slack, so I feel good.
As you should. Okay. Do you have any questions, Tomasz? No? Okay. So my next one, performance update. I wanted to draw attention to the Slack update that I dropped. Those numbers are coming from a test that we've been running on a merge request on GitLab FOSS project. It's not our reference merge request, but this has to be said. So these numbers will not be translating directly to the numbers that we see on the OKR. That's a different merge request tested in a different environment. But that environment can only test things where the feature flag is default on right now. And I think we want to keep that so that we track what's being felt by users everywhere, including customers. So we don't want to, we could hack it and turn the feature flag on those tests from quality teams, but I don't think we want to do that. But we still have this ability to test the impact in production on a large MR that we've been tracking over the course of, months. So we've been able to see the decrease, and proportionately speaking, it is pretty impressive. So yeah, the numbers look great. I'm not sure if this will get us across the line that we need to go for the goals of the OKR, but we still have some other things in flight. Like I said there. Yeah, I wanted to see if you have any questions that I haven't addressed on that comment. Okay.
No,
you want to read your point?
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm pretty impressed with the numbers, and I'm excited to get it out in 14.2 and then start to see the reports of the MR we were measuring against. Because I imagine now at this point we'll have to like sort of retroactively go back to show progress, or I don't know how the OKR will work in terms of like showing the progress that we made, but
I can speak a little bit about that. So the OKR, as we know, is tracked at the monthly level. And there is that thing about, even though the work is being shipped to customers, it's not being enabled for customers in self-hosted instances. But as soon as we have it default on, I think it's fair for us to gauge the progress as real. because we are being very careful with the rollout. And so, yeah, we will, at the end of the July, we will be able to score the OKR immediately, because the tests on the quality team, they run on a nightly and they run on their own environment. So we will be able to see the numbers there, and we'll be updating the OKR with the real numbers at the end of the quarter. These were it. This is where we started. This is the progress.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's Phil has put in a ton of hard work, as is Pedro, in making sure that it was a usable experience. So hats off to both of them.
And you too, Kai, because I think this is the benefit of having this shared OKR. I think this is one of the cases where product understanding the benefit of going deep on a technical effort pays off on the perception from customers as well. But I don't want to take that lightly. We really appreciate your capacity to just allow us to go and play with a little code without shipping new features. So that also plays into this success. So thank you for that too. Cool. Tomasz, do you want to add anything? You have something there?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Sometimes the merge request side was just sad to work with. This looks like it's going to be a massive improvement. And hats off to everyone involved, as everyone said before.
Yeah, and I want to acknowledge Phil's contributions and stubbornness on pushing the virtual scrolling forward. Thank you profusely for those efforts and patience going through the fixes. Thank you also for everyone who participated in investigations and scoping things out and trying to clear out some things that, even though they didn't pan out, they did. We kind of verified that they wouldn't work. Just did some digging. Thomas did some investigations from the IndexedDB as well that we haven't pursued yet, but it's still there. But yes, and Tim is also shipping some satellite improvements on icons and stuff around the MR that it's definitely appreciated. Even though the big bulk of the impact that definitely comes from this OKR attention and Phil's shipping that stuff. Cool. That takes care of that. And my next one is something that Pedro pinged me on. And since we're finalizing the planning for 14.2, I thought I'd bring it up here. This is like the next iteration of attention requests, or just reviews, I guess. And as we're starting to consider the upcoming milestones, because this next one will already be going over the next quarter, I just wanted to check, is this on the right path? Is it missing anything? This breakdown that I linked there, to be able to implement this attention requests. Does anybody has feedback on that?
Yeah. I haven't looked at it yet. I'll just say that I know designs are all in and done. So I think like everything exists. So it's probably up to you and the team to make sure that from a front end perspective that you're good. From a back end perspective, I'll probably ping it. It can wait. We're not planning on scheduling any of this for 14.2.
Okay.
Just giving capacity sort of across the board, we won't have the space. So the goal is to try and figure out what will it take, and then maybe we'll start trying to slot some of it in 14.3. So we've got some more time if you want to get people to actually spend the time looking at it.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Should be okay there.
There's a couple of question marks around there, especially about capacity weights from backend. And it would be good to do some sort of validation so that we don't end up with forgetting API calls and stuff. So yeah, we might drive this conversation alongside 14.2, but that works for me, and I can draw my attention to something else. Cool. That's it. I really don't have anything else. We are gathering later today, Kai, to finalize 14.2.
Correct.
And anything else do you want to discuss, anybody?
You know, I will put this issue in only because there's people here that may want to be interested. I have been thinking about what it would take to build another editor extension, specifically in the JetBrains ecosystem, because we see it come through a lot for customers. It's tangentially mentioned in a lot of places. And then it's also widely used at GitLab. Some of the various editors here are used by engineers at GitLab. So I had been pondering it, but I think one of the key things that we'd have to figure out is if we were to go down this path, sort of what we would need in terms of staffing or people or all those kinds of things. But I think more importantly, sort of have to know what we would build first, because the VS Code extension is incredibly feature rich, and sort of replicating that would take far too much time, right? It's not practical to say we'd go replicate that. So the question would sort of be, where would we start? So there's an issue that I opened yesterday, just sort of to start a discussion about what could be the MVC, like what could be the first iteration, or what could be the first like feature set that we think about to sort of at least say we've got something there, and then maybe that sparks some of these other groups to contribute. And sometimes we've got to lay the first thing out. So if anyone has ideas, feel free to share it amongst your team, Andre, all the teams. I'm happy for anyone to sort of think about what might be valuable, especially if we have JetBrains users that have thoughts on what they would want to do. Then that would be good. And then we'll just quietly ask Tomas to do it one day and see what happens.
Yeah, he can take care of everything on the pipeline for the VS Code. Once he's done, just start over again in another platform. I guess extensions are like websites; they're never really done. That'll be hard. But thanks for raising this. It's something definitely food for thought. I will circulate this across some of the front end folks as well that use JetBrains products. They might have some feedback on it in terms of like valuableness of it and stuff. So yeah, thanks. Also, I don't have any thoughts at this moment. I'm like you, wary of like picking another platform, but definitely worth having a chat.
Yeah, I think for me, we'd have to know where we want to start, and then I'd probably still go do like the product-y opportunity canvas things and get some executive buy-in, just to make sure that we don't go in a direction they're not interested in. I think we're seeing good numbers with VS Code, so it makes it the growth there is happening quickly. So I think it's some validation that if we get into more places where people are, I think that's good. And if we can do it with minimal effort, then that's okay too. So cool. Well, thanks everyone. It's good to see everyone. Welcome back, Thomas. And then
yeah, thank you.
Have a good rest of your day.
See you later.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.